Speaking of, just doing a lot of time, I was thinking about the other day, um, just because I think I was talking to one of my dogs, my best friend, and I was mentioning like a time when we were kids, like when we were teenagers, a certain like story. And he really didn't remember it at first, which is normal. Sometimes people just have a bad memory and you got to be more descriptive and then like, okay, it'll come back to the remembrance. But like, yo, he really didn't remember it like that. But I remembered it super vividly. And the reason why that is because I noticed in prison. I didn't notice this for years. But I don't know if someone pointed it out to me, like an older convict, or if I figured it out myself. But yo, going to prison is like being frozen, like in time, kind of. And especially if you're doing a lot of time. And I say that in two ways. One, I mentioned it earlier, it's kind of like some people say, and I don't believe this is true. Some people say that when you go to prison, like you stop growing mentally from the age you were incarcerated at, like from the age you went in at. I don't believe that because there's life experience in prison just like there is life experience in society. You're still freaking living. You still have relationships, you still have friendships, whatever, like not relationships, but relationships with people. You know what I mean? You're still experiencing life, but it's in prison. You may not have like free world society real life experience when it comes to like careers and family and things like that, but you can still obviously mature, emotionally and mentally even while in prison, though it can be stunted, it can be limited, such as dating and women and things like that. But what I'm getting at, it's like being frozen when it comes to your past or just the past in general, right? So whenever I went to prison the first time at 18, I was supposed to be a senior in high school. So doing years in prison, my last memories of society, of free world, or whenever is when I was 18. When I wasn't in high school, I was still in the streets, selling dope, tripping, destroying my life. But those were my last memories in society. So those memories were vivid and freshly imprinted on my mind. So I began to notice throughout the years in prison when I called some of my homies and I would ask about somebody. And they'd be like, man, I ain't hung out with him and freaking since high school. You know what I mean? I ain't heard, I don't know what's going on. It's been forever. Or I'll bring up stories like I was just mentioning, earlier, and they won't remember. But the reason why I remember them so vividly is because, like, in my mind, they're still brand new to me because those are my last memories of society. So, a lot of times, man, I would realize that, like, I would start reconnecting with people and I would like still maybe have a certain like a subconscious expectation of how they would um not so much view me, but how they would respond to me. Because like it's like an ex, for example. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I was in love with this girl in high school. Like she was like my first like love in high school, like my first huge crush. So even though it's been years, for me, like some of my last memories of society were this girl. So I still kind of have like strong feelings towards her to where like it could be possible that I might want to rekindle something. But like, yo, whenever I reached out to her and I finally talked to her, like, yo, she been over me like 7 years ago, because she done had, 5, 10, 20 boyfriends, however many since then. So she been over that. She don't even remember the stories or anything that I'm bringing up. And she's not doing it intentionally. It's just the fact that, yo, she's continued to live her life in society and has continued to build life experience that even though I'm still living life and I'm still having life experiences, it's not with these people that I had, relationships prior while I was in society. So I think a lot of times, man, that and I begin to notice that too, I think, with some of my homies coming home from prison. I can see and I can maybe hear at times, them maybe I haven't pinpointed that yet, but like especially the desire to get back with the ex, that's really common. You know what I mean? And bro, they just did like a lot of time. It's like, like bro, like I'm pretty sure she's married now. You know what I mean? Or even if she is single, then it's like, bro, like y'all was together a long time ago. But for them, it's like, nah, that was their last relationship, like real deal relationship. So for them, they've kind of maybe held on to some type of attachment or some type of emotional tie or a feeling or some type of subconscious hope that maybe there could be some type of rekindling just because for them, that was their last relationship. If they fail to realize her, bro, it's been 20 years or it's been 10 years or it's been five, you know what I mean? They long gone have been over um, you or me or us. Um, so yeah, man, I think that's a crazy thought. You know what I mean about people doing a lot of time. It's kind of like being frozen in time. And so whenever you get released or you begin to touch back, get back in touch with people in society, you're starting to realize that like yo, everybody kind of forgot about you, bro. You know what I mean? And that is continue to live life. You can't blame them. You can't fault them for that. But they continue to experience life out here in society while we, those who are incarcerated, haven't. And that's been something that I've realized throughout my years of incarceration.